I want to thank Deb for having me. For those who don't know me, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You. As you may know, Deb and I have a great connection, and we have a live show, Connection to Spirit, and we love those conversations. Well, I know I do, and I'm pretty sure she does too. So, but if you don't know me, I am the owner and founder of Creative You, and collaboration is one of our core values at Creative You. We love to collaborate. And so when Deb mentioned this, I was so excited because I think this is just a great way to celebrate and um, really sit with the energy of Samhain and recognize how we're all part of the circle, how we're all part of the energy of the world. And so I'm super excited to be here. Now, normally I write my own meditations. However, I found this one and it just really spoke to me. And so I thought I would share it with you. I'm just going to do the meditation with you. And then I just want to talk a little bit about sort of settling in to the Samhain energy. And originally I wasn't going to do, Samhain specific, but I think it's important. So bear with me. Bear with me. All right. I'm just going to light my candle first. And I just have my what I call my small travel altar here. And I'm just going to light that and just sort of breathe into the energy that I am bringing here today. This is our Love, Heal, Create candle that we have in our shop. Shameless plug. Just put that there. And on my altar at this time, I have a quartz star that has broken and been repaired. And I think that's a really important part of the end of season. That end of season energy, I guess, because it's about going into the death of the season, right? So we're going into the coldest time of the year and to come out the other side with rebirth. And so we're settling into sort of that death now. And we often reflect on the personal aspect of death at this time of year. I also have a piece of petrified wood, which again, the aspect of death and done, and yet the beauty in that. I have another stone here. I believe it's called a frosted quartz. It to me sort of represents the life underneath. And it's sort of like that raw quartz before it gets all polished and shiny. That's what I have in front of me. And I'm just going to take a couple of breaths to settle myself before I move into the meditation with you. You can breathe along with me if you want. If you haven't already, I invite you to close your eyes. It is the night of Samhain. Let the doorway open to the other world. Let us take a journey to the land of myth and legend. In our home, we put out our hearth fire for the ending of the year. We walk out into the night and we are surrounded by mist and darkness. But it is not frightening. We start walking slowly. The path opens before us. We are walking through a grove of large, straight trees. Because of the mist, we cannot see the tops. It is as if they disappear into the shadows. We walk along the path as it winds through the woods. We come out to a low fog-covered field. We disappear one by one into the gray dragon's breath. We start climbing a grass-covered hill. As we near the top, we start coming out of the fog The moon shines through the clouds, illuminating the area all around us. We gather at the crown of the hill and circle around a fire pit filled with wood ready to be lit. We start chanting softly. Hecate, Ceridwen, Dark Mother, take us in. Hecate, Ceridwen, let us be reborn. Hecate, Ceridwen, Dark Mother, take us in. Hecate, Ceridwen, let us be reborn. As we circle, the priestess takes a branch and lights it. She uses it to light the bonfire. As it flickers to life, our voices become louder and stronger. Suddenly we stop and all is silent. We all sit down around the fire. As we watch the fire, we see things, people, scenes. The firelight flickers and the flames grow stronger. We sit and we watch. We wait to see visions, information that is meant for each of us alone. We all see what we need to see. And softly someone begins drumming, a slow, steady beat like our heartbeat. Another drum joins in with a counterpart. A tambourine starts jingling. A flute begins a haunting melody, slowly increasing in complexity. We slowly leave this world and our earthly bodies. We are going between to the other world. We see others waiting for us, familiar faces, loved ones, people we have missed so much they welcome us and begin to walk with us. We are going to the cave. We walk along together, holding hands, hugging, and just smiling to be with them once more. This is the night, you see, we can join them for a little while. As we walk, we don't say anything, just so happy to be together. Soon we are at the cave. We stop. The opening is dark, huge, yawning maw. Suddenly we are frightened and unsure. What is in there? Is it our fears? Is it our shadows? Will we be safe? We gather together and begin to enter the darkness. Our feet seem to know where to go. As we walk along a corridor, we feel the walls worn smooth by other hands which were there long before us. We hear water in the distance, rushing. It gets louder as we walk along. We turn and enter a large passage. A waterfall is falling from above. We walk under it, the mist moistening our faces, chilling yet refreshing us. We come out from behind the waterfall and see the grandmother of the cauldron. She is dressed in lapis blue, and her silver hair and azure eyes sparkle. The water in the pool at the bottom of the falls is iridescent. She holds the cauldron of rebirth, which represents pleasure. And she states, for every sadness there is joy. For every ending there is a beginning. For every question there is an answer. And the answer is within you. We silently contemplate her words. We gather together to walk on. The path leads back into the cavern. As we walk, it gets quieter. Soon all we can hear is our feet and our breathing. Then when we walk into a new cavern, it is green and crystal. There are stalagmites and stalactites made of quartz. The room vibrates with energy. Seated on a flat quartz crystal in the middle is the grandmother of the stone. She is dressed in forest green and her hair is white. Her eyes shine with green lights. She holds the stone of destiny, which represents power. It pulses and vibrates with potency, and she states, "Draw your energy from the earth, but be her protector, for if she has a need, and we do not provide for it, we will not survive." The earth does not belong to us, but we belong to her. And we silently contemplate her words. We gather together to walk on. The path leads back into the cavern. As we walk, we hear the wind. It whistles through the passageways. We walk into the cavern of winds. It is bathed in soft yellow light. Seated on a stone in the middle is the grandmother of the spear. Her hair is yellow and white. Her eyes are light yellow amber, and her dress is the color of the sunlight at dawn. She holds the spear of courage, and she states, "You will never be given a greater task than you can manage, and knowing yourself takes the greatest courage." And we silently contemplate her words. We gather together to walk on. The path leads back into the cavern. As we walk, we begin to feel warmth. We see the flicker of firelight. We walk into a room filled with torches. In the middle, we see the grandmother of the sword bathed in the light of the flames. She is dressed in scarlet, and her hair is gold and silver. Her eyes are black, and her gaze is fixed into ours. She holds the invincible sword of knowledge. She states, "I read and I remember. I use and I create. I teach and help others, and thus I understand." And we silently contemplate her words. And we gather together to walk out of the cave. We silently go down the path to the valley. Then we enter the sentinel trees. We speak not a word and climb back up the hill to the bonfire. We re-enter our bodies and awaken to this world. The fire is low. We take a bucket and put an ember of fire in it. we will take it back to our hearth and start our fires anew for the new year. And we silently hug everyone and walk home. Just take a moment to come back into your body. Take a deep breath in and release. And another deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. So that meditation in its essence is Samhain. So I want you to think about and contemplate those aspects that came up through the meditation. For every sadness, there is joy. For every ending, there is beginning. For every question, there is an answer. Draw your energy from the earth, but be her protector. For if she has a need and we do not provide for it, we will not survive. The earth does not belong to us, but we belong to her. You will never be given a greater task than you can manage, and knowing yourself takes the greatest courage. I read and I remember. I use and I create. I teach and help others, and thus I understand. So those are the messages that were given to us by the crones, the goddesses, the energy of the directions, things to contemplate in our own life and where we fit into that. I invite you to do some journaling now and ask yourself, what came up for you during this meditation? Why is it important? And what you intend to do moving forward. And I'll also put the messages for you to dig into a little deeper. I would challenge you to continue journaling on those. Samhain is a time of year, like I said, that we've come to the end of the year, death and dying, but we recognize that rebirth is inevitable. And so we're not sad because of the death, because we know there's more coming. And we bring in the aspect of our ancestors into this time of year for that very reason, because we're sad that they're gone. We're sad that these people have passed from our lives, even if we've never met them. They're part of our legacy, part of our ancestral energy. And so we're sad that they're gone. And sometimes, we might not be sad per se, but our bodies feel it, right? So that energy is draining us. And so this time of year allows us to bring those ancestors back to us and ask questions and learn and bring that energy from them into the rebirth of the future. So into the spring, what you're doing moving forward and all of those things. So it has become, through the ages, sort of Halloween dress up time. But this came from a time where people, the fields were done, everyone was heading indoors. They didn't do a lot of socializing outside. And so there was a lot of time for reflection at this time of year. And they tended to stay in their own homes and not venture out very much, right? So you were sort of cut off from things. And through the years, there's been sort of spin-offs, if you will, of Samhain that include feasting with your ancestors, wearing costumes to scare off the evil spirits so that you only bring in the good spirits. Now, one of the things that we talk about, and myself included, is the veil is at the thinnest at this time of year. And it's very true, because we're passing from one side of the wheel to another. So if you think about it, so one year is ending and another year is starting. So there's just like this, like space, if you will. And that's where the veil is at the thinnest. So the belief is that we can bring in our ancestors at this time, and it's become part of the practice. at this time of year as we start to celebrate the coming year, our new year. However, you can bring your ancestors back at any time of the year. You just need to tap into that energy. Set space for it. Do what you need to do to feel into it. And we often go to psychics and mediums to get information that we think only they can give us. Only they have the answers. But if you allow yourself, you can also tap into that energy. I don't consider myself a psychic or a medium. I do consider myself very intuitive. My wife actually is a psychic and medium. She does readings for people all over the world, and she's very good at it. It's not something I so much feel comfortable at, but for my own self, I connect with ancestors, my ancestors. I connect with the guides and the people that I need. And we're all capable of that. We just have to allow ourselves to do that. We have to allow ourselves to open up to the possibilities. So this is a good time of year to practice, but you can do it at any time of year. And I think the collective energy also helps at this time of year, where when the veil is at its thinnest, there are more people believing and doing these connections. And so that collective energy will help power or empower everyone. You can absolutely do this any time of year. So I would suggest some journaling, like I said, and just really tap into what the messages are for you, but then also what more do you need to know, and how can you know that? All right. So I want to just thank Deb. I was going to do a creative practice, like something with paint and move it around, and that really what came to me. And then when I saw this meditation, I was like, this is the essence of Samhain. And so I think this with some journaling, so powerful. So I want to give a shout out to Cyrilyn. I found this online. I will reach out. It looks like it might be, it looked like it might have been there for a long time. So I don't know if this person is still around, but meditation really spoke to me. And I have tried to reach out to say thank you and let them know that I have used this meditation. Like I said, I normally write my own, but this one really spoke to me. So hopefully you got something from that too. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.